Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the one and only Kharlie Brown. And here it is, I'm back again with a review. And the review this time is a review of what I've been talking about, what I've been building you guys up for, what I've been waiting for all this time. Okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm not going to give out any spoilers in this part, and the first half. I'm just going to get to it, give you a little bit of my thoughts, and I'm going to give you my grade, and we're going to move on from there. So those of you that have not seen it and you do not want any spoilers, this is the time for you to listen. Here we go. Spider-Man No Way Home is a great movie. I loved it. I very well enjoyed it. The actors and actresses in there did a great job. The story was great. Of course, a lot of people are going to argue there are going to be plot points, but I can argue through those plot points if you want to. There was a couple things that I noticed that I think people are going to talk about and say that it's a plot hole. But I think it could easily just be explained over, but it doesn't really take away from the movie unless you're really one of those people that it takes away from the movie, if you know what I'm saying, like me. But I love Spider-Man. So anyway, all in all, I would say if I had to give it a grade, you know how my grading systems go. You know, you got high pass, low pass. You got okay, somewhere in the middle. And then you got low fail and then high fail. I'm going to give it a high pass. I'm going to give it a high pass because across the board, there were things about it that pushed it to be in that area. Was it enjoyable? Yes. Did it bring you into the story? Yes. Did it have laughs? Yes. Did it push a story and keep the story narrative going? Were there any type of development within the characters? Yes, yes, yes. So, all in all, if you haven't had a chance to check out Spider-Man No Way Home, go check it out. And that was my spoiler review of Spider-Man No Way Home. And now... shit! Let's get into it. Let's talk about it now. I've been waiting. Hey. Anyway, so there are people that already started to ruin, not ruin, but already started to spoil a lot of the movie. I'm trying to keep this short and simple. So now at this point, if you've already seen the movie, you already know what I'm about to talk about. But there's already people out there that's been throwing out spoilers about the movie and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and take that cat out the bag because this is already out of the bag, okay? Mr. Cat in the Hat, let's talk about you. Okay, so... the major spoilers that they had the two former Spider-Mans in there. Now, here's the thing. I saw this movie a couple days ago, and it had time to marinate in my brain, and I've been trying to think about this, and excuse me, and I honestly have to say that this movie somehow went back and fixed the last two prior Spider-Man's movies. So you had Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, which he got 3 movies, and he got a complete trilogy, and then they totally screwed over Andrew Garfield, which he only got 2 movies. They should have gave him a third to really close off that story, but they didn't. And then you had this Spider-Man, which is Tom Holland, and you got all 3 movies from him. Now, I did a video, and I was talking about the video, who's my favorite Spider-Man. I honestly said that Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man, and I do mean that 100%. But at this point now, it's kind of hard to really say who's my favorite Spider-Man because of how they set up the Spider-Mans in this movie. So, without going into this movie, without knowing about this movie, and then watching this movie, they single-handedly somehow fixed the problems that I saw with the other Spider-Mans, and they did callbacks to the other movies too that really gave those characters their character, their personality. Like in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, the death of Gwen Stacy, they brought that up, and it's something that was really really weighing him down to where he became a darker Spider-Man. He was a very dark, bitter man. And then the Tobey Maguire, he was older, more wiser, more calm, more reserved, because he's been through it all, seen it all, and he lived through it, so he understands it better. So just seeing the stages that they were in as Spider-Man, and just by seeing those other movies and then seeing the killer developments from that in this movie, I thought they did an amazing job on that. Sandman being in the movie, they actually used I believe they used archive footage, because that one footage with him sitting down and looking at his hand, it kind of looked like the footage from Spider-Man 3, the one with Tobey Maguire and Venom. But that kind of like archive footage. And also with the lizard, it looked kind of like archive footage. So I think the only actors they got to really come back, well, the other two actors did the voice acting. Clearly they did. But the only 3 actors that actually came back that were the villains, and you actually saw them in the roles, was Doc Ock, William Dafoe. Okay, so William Dafoe apparently said that he wasn't going to come back unless he had a bigger role, and he wanted to make sure that he can do some of his own stunts. And let me tell you something. There's a fight sequence with Spider-Man and William Dafoe in this movie, and he beat the dog shit out of Spider-Man. He was whooping his butt. But I like how they had that character, because in the comics, how Green Goblin was and how he felt and how, you know, how his mentality and stuff was. They did a great job with that on the screen. Also, the relationship and everything that was going on. You know, I'm not going to get into that part yet. But first, let me go back and say Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is an amazing actor. If you don't know about Jamie Foxx, then you don't know about freaking Jamie Foxx. That man, he pulls stuff from his gut and just throws it out there. Because there was things in here where it's like, oh, you know, the problems that we had with his character before when he was in Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man Part 2. And then they made fun of those flaws. And he made fun of those flaws too. And they did a great job with that character. Even the look, like the little man-made suit that he put together for himself, it was really cool. He was a really good villain. He was really good as that playing that villain. And Dr. Octopus was probably was my heart in this movie. He was such a joy. Now the part that I don't really want to talk about in the spoilers is that but it punched me in the face so hard was the death of Aunt May, or as everybody was calling her, Hot Aunt May. But it's like her character arc throughout the 3 Spider-Mans, and then this one, I think honestly she was the best Aunt May throughout the entire Spider-Man series that they've had, you know, between Tobey's, Andrew's, and Tom's. But the way they did it, it was, man, it was something. It was meaningful, and it drove the story. Then the way they had it end, where Spider-Man is basically, if you haven't seen it, you shouldn't be listening to these spoilers, but it's basically alone. Now, if you guys want to go through the comics, look for the comic book called One Last Day, or One More Day. I think it's called One More Day. In that comic, Spider-Man had to sacrifice something to help somebody else out, and then put everything back in place to where he ended up breaking up with Mary Jane because of it. Like, so it erased that whole thing. He made a deal with Mephisto. Good old Mephisto. We've been waiting for him all this time. But at the same time, in this movie, Mary Jane ended up losing her memory as well as everybody. Everybody forgot who Peter Parker was. They forgot that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, so it pretty much erased their memories and stuff. So at the end of that, they have a mid-credits trailer. Not trailer, but a mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene is Venom, and really, I don't even really want to talk about it, but it's shit. It's Venom. Everything, Venom 1, Venom 2, and that mid-credit scene with Venom is shit. I don't care. I don't even really want to talk about it. But anyway, Venom's sitting there inside Tom Holland's universe, and he finds out about the Avengers, Thanos, and everything else that was going on. Everybody getting blimped away, and he can't take it. Then all of a sudden, he gets zapped back out, but a little piece of Venom is still sitting there on the bar, and they zoom in on it. And I'm like, I really don't care. I don't care at all. Unless they get somebody else to play Venom, and the next person that plays Venom doesn't play him all quirky and like Tom Holland played him, and it's not a damn comedy. I don't want Venom to be a comedy. I want him to be Venom. I want him to be a little bit more vicious. If you're going to do that, if you're going to have Spider-Man versus Venom, let him be vicious, let him be sadistic, let him beat him up, let him bite his head off for all I care. Give me something for Venom, okay? But anyway, that was shit. So then you get to the very last credit, the very last end credit scene, and it's when all the credits and everything go off. Sony throws their name on it again. Sony wanted to make sure you knew that they redeemed themselves in this movie. So all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, you get a trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the way it looks, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out What If, well, spoiler alert if you haven't, please go check out What If on Disney Plus. And What If, they have Dark Doctor Strange, and then they have Doctor Strange. And in this, it looks like he's Dark Doctor Strange. So it's almost like the What If was kind of giving you a preview of what we're going to get for Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, which makes me think in my brain, what if him doing what he did for Spider-Man is the reason that the Multiverse of Madness started? Like, what was the cost of it? But now he doesn't have any memory of the fact that he did that one thing that caused this to happen. I mean, we don't know, but we're just speculating. Everybody speculates on the internet nowadays. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories about everything. There's a conspiracy theory that I'm the sexiest man alive. Anywho, so if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, go check it out. But then again, you're listening to me talk about this spoiler right now, so you have checked it out. So this is what I want you guys to do. Please, anywhere you're listening to this, watching this, or anywhere there's a comment section, comment down below and tell me how you felt about the movie. Please let me know how you felt about it. And please, and enjoy your day, enjoy your tomorrow. And don't forget, it's a Spider-Man Christmas in 2021. We wish you a Spidey Christmas. We wish you a Spidey Christmas. We wish you a Spidey Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good weddings to you and all of your friends. Mary Jane's over there dancing with Peter again.